Hey everybody, how are you today? This is Antonio Arnold. How are you? Uh, just want to talk to you for a moment. Take a little bit of your time, guys. The day of reckoning is coming. The day of reckoning is coming because so much evil has taken hold of this country. People don't want to speak to each other anymore. You see, you wear a hat like this. People want to persecute you, beat you up. Everybody has a right to their own opinions and philosophies and religious belief and even political. And I see a nation today that has gone so far from the founders' true intentions. And that is to make this a great nation. I mean, I have come in contact with people from all over the world who wants to live in this country, had moved to this country and made their lives and their business growth through this country, had opportunities they couldn't have in this country. And yet I see people who hate this country, their own people from this country, not from the Middle East, not from East Africa, not from the continent of Africa or the continent of Europe, not the continent of Australia or the continent of Asia. Hate this country. They're from here. And they're in the matrix, being brainwashed to hate the very fabrics of our nation. But yet people leave their nations, whether it be a democracy or socialist republic or communist, come here for a better life. So, I'm a type of guy, I served over 22 years of military service, course credit 18 and a half. We can talk about that too. I served in the Army Reserve, Air Guard, Air Force, Army, and then active duty. Done some deployments, some statewide deployments within the country, continental U.S. Seen a lot, seen a great nation, had some great opportunities, loved it. Served in federal government, served as pastor, attended school of theology, became a theologian, and I see folks graduating from college, whether historically black, which I have graduated from and then had graduated, or those from graduated from Ivy League or well-known college, which is another college I graduated with my master's, and I see people who have the greatest opportunities to have the best life hate their own country, and they say we've been oppressed. I say the hell you have. Since when you've been oppressed? You've been spoiled. You've been spoiled rotten all your life. You never had a really hard time. You don't know what it means to be, when someone look at you different and oppress you in a way, and you living in a society of oppression. You never had that. I'm just coming from my father's line, who lived back, who was born back in the 30s, lived through the Great Depression, lived through World War II, served in a Korean conflict, 30 years of military service in the Army, retired right before Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And you mean to tell me you've been oppressed? Something is seriously wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Something is seriously wrong. We have people who want to tear down monuments. I say keep the monuments up, because their monuments tells a story. Those monuments tell the story, what has happened, so we will learn from it and not repeat it. I'm seeing actions taking place that reminds me of the Bolshevik Revolution in the Soviet Union that led to the Soviet Union. I have watched this nation moving in a direction that remind me when Chairman Mao was in the movement, a conflict movement to conquest National China, which was a free democracy who had his back against the wall fighting the Japanese Imperial Army, and then had to turn around and fight his own people, the Communist Army that was backed up by Stalin of Russia, the Soviet Union. And now, today, I see communism flourish in parts of the U.S. that I have never seen before. I have seen people being forced to stay in their home to cooperate because of this China virus that came from Wuhan, China. Why are we not blaming the Communist Party of China? Why are we not treating the Chinese like we treated the Soviet Union and how they were defeated without even firing a weapon? And I've seen so many people, and I used to be very quiet because I was in the military. We were taught not to take political side. We were taught to keep our opinions to ourselves. And while you're on active duty or you're representing the uniform, you do not go out and march and protest. And then I see soldiers who's been activated taking a knee in protest with the protesters, with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I mean black lives. I've been black all my life. And I don't see anybody give a damn about black lives, particularly, I'm really pissed off, from black people. I come from an all-black city and it's tore up the frame. I come from a city that has more people in poverty, more people on welfare, more people are homeless than you can shake a stick at for a town that size. And I have people got their hand out every day. Where's your Black Lives Matter? I see people I have been around and grew up in neighborhoods where people shot at. Every time I pick up a paper, go on Facebook, there's some shooting. I could pull out newspaper dated back 1982 from where I'm from, where people was constantly shooting at each other. Blacks. And you wonder, what about the Ku Klux Klan? What about the Nazi Party? The socialist, nationalist socialists? The nationalist socialists ain't got nothing to do with a black man shooting another black man. The Ku Klux Klan, come on, let's just think about it. I'm just a little emotional right now because I'm a little fed up. I'm 55 years old and I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing what my country has transformed to. I'm tired of seeing what the Democratic Party has done to my country. The Democratic Party, they say the South will rise again. It sure has, called the Democratic Party. It has swung from far nationalist socialists or slavery to far leftists to the new slavery, which is slave mentality, called communism. You know communism is slavery too? Do you know people who live in communist country are treated like slaves? If you ever look at the history of the Bolshevik Revolution and under Stalinism and under Lenin, millions of people have died. Millions of people have died. Is somebody knocking on the door? You just interrupted my trip. Okay, I'm going to shut the door.